Cincinnati Reds are on the air. It's the Reds on Radio with Marty Brenneman and Joe Nutsall. Reds Baseball is brought to you by Stroll Beer, brewed with pride for 200 years, from one beer lover to another. And by the Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people. By Frisch's, come see the good people at Frisch's. They really have so much more. By the First National Bank of Cincinnati, a good place to put your money and your confidence. By the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Cincinnati, bottlers of Pepsi-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Schweppes products. And by Riverside Ford in Newport, a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. Now, for all the play-by-play action of Cincinnati Reds baseball, we go to Marty Brenneman and Joe Nutsall.
Good evening, everybody, from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Joe Nutsall and yours truly, Marty Brenneman, welcoming you to Reds baseball. Tonight, the Reds open up an 8-game homestand, taking on the New York Mets in a brief 2-game series. And in this homestand opener at Riverfront Stadium, a couple of left-handers will battle. For Cincinnati, Don Gullett trying to become a 5-game winner in 1975. And for the New York Mets, it'll be Jerry Kuzma. We'll be back with the game lineup in just a moment.
Stop and enjoy a big baseball, and after that hamburger treat. The national favorite coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big baseball.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great tasting treats from sandwiches to full-course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker, and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big baseball, and after that hamburger treat. The national favorite coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big baseball.
If you're ready now, here are the starting lineups tonight for the New York Mets. Leading off and playing center field is Gene Klein. Batting number 2, second baseman Felix Millan. Rusty Staub is in right field and hitting third. Batting number 4, playing first base, Joe Torre. Dave Kingman in left field, batting fifth. Hitting number 6, the third baseman is Wayne Garrett. Jerry Grody will catch and bat seventh. Hitting 8th, the shortstop, Bud Harrelson. And batting number 9 and pitching for New York is left-hander Jerry Kuzma. Again for the Mets, it's Klein's in center field, Millan at second base, and Staub in right. Torrey at first, Kingman in left field, and Garrett at third. With Grody catching, Harrelson at shortstop, and Kuzman on the mound. For Cincinnati, the leadoff batter is third baseman Pete Rose. Batting second in right field, Ken Griffey. Joe Morgan at second base, batting third. Hitting number 4, the catcher, Johnny Bench. Tony Perez at first base will hit fifth. Batting number 6, the shortstop is Dave Concepcion. George Foster in left field will bat seventh. Hitting 8th in center field, Cesar Geronimo. And batting 9 and pitching is Don Gullett. Again for the Reds, it's Rose at third, Griffey in right field, Morgan at second base. Bench catching, Perez at first, Concepcion at shortstop. With Foster in left field, Geronimo in center, and Don Gullett pitching. Well, the Cincinnati Reds are on the field, and now the crowd at Riverfront Stadium comes to its feet for our national anthem that will be performed tonight by the Mansfield High School Choir under the direction of Thomas Hamrick. and the broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Well, the Reds return home after winning the first two and winning the last two of a 10-game road trip. Two straight after losing the opening night in Montreal and back-to-back victories. Strong pitching by Gary Nolan Sunday afternoon in the road trip wrap-up. And, Joe, I guess as we start an 8-game homestand, it's extremely good to be back at Riverfront Stadium.
Always nice to be back home, Marty. And, you know, as I was talking to you before we came on the air, you know, it's really strange. You're gone for 10 days, and you come out to Riverfront, and you look down the stands and see what that great weather has done to the folks' complexion. Boy, they all look healthy, and I think the ball club is healthy, and we're ready to get after some people out west.
Well, a couple of announcements in the last couple of days. One, that Sparky Anderson has gotten set on his lineup. He said it'll be Foster, Geronimo, and Griffey in the outfield against right-handers and left-handers from now on. The infield, of course, has been pretty much set throughout the season, or at least the last couple of weeks, with Pete Rose going to third base. And another move announced today. The Reds have called up right-hander Raleigh Eastwick from their AAA Indianapolis Farm Club and sent John Vukovic, the third baseman, out on option. And Joe, I guess there are a lot of folks that felt this club needed a 10th pitcher, and now we've got one in Raleigh Eastwick.
Well, and his statistics are very impressive, Marty, for the time he spent over at Indianapolis. He was in 13 games over there in 20 innings, 11 hits, struck out 14, walked 8, had 2 saves, was 1-0 and a fine 135 earned run average. And Raleigh is an excellent pitcher. He has good stuff, and it has a little sinking fastball, sinking fastball, and Raleigh is, I'm sure, a welcome addition to the pitching staff.
Well, we're set to go now as Don Gullett concludes his warm-ups to Johnny Bench, and center fielder Gene Klein will step in and lead things off for the New York Mets, a club that won 5 straight games since last we saw them in the first leg of that 3-city road trip completed Sunday, and missed by 1 in sweeping the Houston Astros. The Mets won the first 2 down in the Dome, lost Sunday afternoon, and coming into face us tonight with a couple of back-to-back hammers going. Jerry Kuzman, a left-hander tonight, and of course right-hander Tom Seaver will go against Jack Billingham tomorrow night. Klein's a right-handed batter, in and waiting on Gullett's first pitch. It's on the way. It's hit down the right field line, curving toward the seat, and in, a foul ball is out of play. Klein's batting only .121 with an RBI, and to be quite frank about it, Gene Klein has been an extreme disappointment to the New York Mets. They figured on him providing some offense for him when they got him from Pittsburgh for Duffy Dyer, but so far he has not done that for him. The 0-1 is swung on and fouled, and Gullett is quickly out in front at 2 strikes. Following Gene Klein in the New York first inning, it'll be second baseman Felix Millan. He's on deck, and then right fielder Rusty Staub. Gullett with already a victory over the New York club this season. He beat him with relief help at Shea Stadium. High and outside with a fastball. In that game, he worked 6 innings, allowing a run and 8 hits. Losing his last outing, 6-3 on the Ollie Brown 9th inning home run in Philadelphia. Pitch is swung on and again foul right side and well back of the Cincinnati dugout. So Donnie trying for his 5th victory of the season. His earned run average, a very, very fine 2.05 as he makes his 9th start. He has 4 complete games. Reds outfield giving Klein a lot of room in left center, and he swings, misses, Bench drops the ball, picks it up and completes a strikeout with a throw on down to Tony Perez. So with 1 out in the Mets first inning, here's second baseman Felix Millan. Millan batting .224, has a home run and 12 RBI. Well, we talk about Gullett's strikeout of Gene Klein. Don ranks 5th in the National League in that department. That is 44th of the year to draw him even with Houston's James Rodney Richards. Don Sutton leads the league with 72, and his teammate Andy Messersmith in second place with 60. A strike is called at the knees to the right-handed batting Millan. In the Reds infield, Tony Perez at first, Joe Morgan at second, Dave Concepcion at shortstop, and Pete Rose at third. Gullett sights aside, the 0-1 delivery, swung on, a fair ball by Perez down the right field line. Griffey waiting for it to come off the wall, and Millan will settle for a single to right field.
That was a good play by Kenny, Marty, because he knew that you just don't gamble on that ball, and he played it well, and he got a good bounce off the wall, and thus holding really a speedy Millan to a single.
That'll bring up Rusty Staub, the New York right fielder. Staub batting .307. 5 homers and 25 RBIs, and it's interesting, the trade rumors evolving around this man, the fact that, as the rumors go, the Dodgers are trying to negotiate a deal with the New York Mets to bring Rusty Staub over to L.A. The pitch to him is taken for a strike. In the Cincinnati outfield, it's Foster in left, Geronimo in center, Griffey in right, with Johnny Bench behind the plate. Felix Millan at first base and leading against Tony Perez. Gullett into a stretch motion, and the 0-1 pitch to Staub is swung on a tapper foul off the first baseline, strike 2. Talking to New York broadcaster Bob Murphy before our broadcast tonight, he said that as far as he's concerned, there's no substantiation at all to that story because of the fact that the Mets and the Dodgers are trying to get the same thing, and that is a fourth starter who can consistently do a job for them. That it wouldn't behoove the Mets at all to trade Rusty Staub for anything less than a pitcher, and the Dodgers, of course, the same predicament. Swung on, a fly ball hit the right center field, but there is Geronimo, and he makes the catch for out number 2. 2-out batter is first baseman Joe Torre. Torre still struggling at the plate. He's batting .197 with 9 runs batted in, no home runs. Played primarily at third base for the Mets here in the early going, but against left-handers, he goes to first with Wayne Garrett moving over to third base, although Garrett a left-handed batter. Gullett ready to deal. The pitch to Torre, swung on, ground ball by Perez, again to right field. Millan coming on to third base. Griffey backhands the ball, quick throw back to the infield, and the Mets have him at first and third with 2 out for left fielder Dave Kingman. Well, Millan's hit was between Perez and the back. That one was wide of first base. Millan going to third base, Torre on at first, and the second New York hit in the first inning, and with 2 out, Dave Kingman will step in as Johnny Bench goes out to the mound, and Joe Morgan also comes in from second base to talk to Don Gullett.
Well, I would imagine John would be reminding Don that Kingman, of course, at the plate now, and he has a left-handed batter and Garrett following him. So, you know, an open base, really, at second base, so don't give in to it.
Dave Kingman batting .219. He has 6 home runs and 13 runs batted in. Against the Reds at Shea Stadium in the series a weekend ago, 1 for 6 with a home run. He swings and hits a very, very high pop into shallow right field. Morgan calling for the ball, waiting, and makes the catch to retire the side. In the first inning for New York, no runs. 2 hits, they leave 2 men on base. The Mets scoreless in their half of the first inning, with the Cincinnati Reds just now coming into bat.
Harold Lee has been skiing up on Mount Olyeska for about 5 years now. Some of the time it's for fun, but a lot of the time it's just to be there in case somebody needs some help. Harold's good at snow rescue work, which is what it takes to be a National Ski Patrolman around Anchorage, Alaska. Harold's got what it takes because he's not only a fine skier, but also because he's taken his time to learn emergency first aid, too. Something the skiers up on Mount Olyeska are mighty glad he did. Harold Lee doesn't have to spend so much of his free time up on a mountain, but he wants to because he believes in people. Harold Lee is also a full-time employee of Marathon Oil Company, Production Division, Anchorage, Alaska.
Marathon is people just like you, and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people.
Reds are coming to bat at the bottom of the first inning against left-hander Jerry Koosman, and Pete Rose will lead things off. And before we get too much along in the game broadcast, I'd like to make a correction of a monumental mistake made earlier tonight. The national anthem was sung by the Manchester, Ohio High School Choir under the direction of Mr. Thomas Hamrick.
Did an excellent job, by the way.
They certainly did. They absolutely did. Jerry Koosman, we did not see in the 3-game series at Shea Stadium. He's won 3 of 4 decisions with a .431 earned run average, making his 8th start. He has 3 complete games, and Koosman, in 48 in the third innings, has given up 50 hits. Has struck out 32 and walked 25. Rose batting .304 with 3 homers and 23 RBI. Koosman into his windup. He delivers to the plate, and Pete takes the fastball in on him a ball. Rose, Griffey, and Morgan in the bottom of the first inning. Mets getting 2 men on base in their half, but not being able to score. Koosman back. Rose takes this inside, and it's ball 2. Ed Vargo calling balls and strikes with Bruce Fremming at first base, Art Williams at second, and Paul Runge at third. Rose swinging a hot bat lately, 16 times to the plate, 7 hits. There is ball 3 below the knees, and Koosman is behind at 3-0. Outfield pretty much straight away. That's a called strike on the inside, just below the letter. Rose currently 4th in the league in hits with 49. Steve Garvey of L.A. leads with 57. Koosman, a rapid worker, 3-1 on the way, swung on, shot into right center field. Staub will come up with a ball, a fine catch by Rusty Staub. Well, it looked like that ball was going to get down before Staub got there, but boy, he laid that glove right on the AstroTurf and made a fine play to take away a hit from Rose.
Very true, Marty, and I think the thing about it is being a right-handed batter, the ball is hooking, slicing just a bit toward Rusty. Rusty had a heck of a time catching it. He made a whale of a catch.
So one down on the defensive gem by Rusty Staub, and here's left-handed batting Ken Griffey. He's batting .348. Pitch to him, up high a ball. Griffey, along with a fine batting average, has 1 home run, and that was the one that beat the Montreal Expos and reliever John Montague with a 10th inning home run Saturday up at Jerry Park. Left-hander against left-hander. Swung on, he lost the bat, just missed getting into the Reds dugout, and Dave Concepcion, who was standing in the stairwell. 1 ball and 1 strike on Griffey as he slowly makes his way back to the dugout. Bat boy coming out to bring in the bat, but Griff will stop off in the on-deck circle for a touch-up of that bat handle with a pine tar rag. We're in the bottom of the first, no score. Joe Morgan on deck and Ken Griffey coming back plateward to await the 1-1 pitch from Jerry Koosman. Defensively for New York, Torrey at first, Millan at second, Harrelson at shortstop. The third baseman tonight is Wayne Garrett. In left is Kingman, and center Kleins, and right Staub. Veteran Jerry Grody behind the plate. Griffey steps away from the plate and is back in. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Koosman rocks to the motion to pitch. Off-speed pitch that misses and gets off the glove of Grody. Ball 2. 2 games with New York. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8:05, with Billingham going against Seaver, an off day Thursday, and then a 3-game series over the weekend against the Philadelphia Phillies. Monday, a 1:15 doubleheader with Montreal. 2-1 pitch, fastball in for a call, strike 2. After the doubleheader next Monday, Memorial Day with the Expos, an off day Tuesday, and then Montreal back in for the series and the homestand windup a week from tomorrow night. So 8 games in all, including the Memorial Day doubleheader with the Expos. Full count to Ken Griffey. 2 straight batters Koosman has gone a 3-ball count to. 3-1 on Rose before Pete was robbed by Staub, and now 3-2 with Griffey. The sign, here comes the payoff, and that's a bouncing ball that Koosman stabs on the mound and gets the out at first base. Well hit ball back to the middle by Ken Griffey, but Koosman made a play on it. And with 2 down, here's Joe Morgan. Morgan, a rough time in Montreal, had his right shin slashed open by outfielder Tony Scott in turning a double play in Friday night's game. A gash that required 14 stitches and then was really banged up by Gary Carter Saturday afternoon in the 10th inning. He hit the ground ball to the right side. There's Torrey playing it and going to the bag to get the out. That retires the side. So the Reds are out in order in the first inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on, and after 1 complete, it's the Reds nothing and the New York Mets nothing.
The folks at the Stowe Brewery want to remind you that it's Stowe party time, and they also want to give you a free recipe on how to throw a party. So, here goes. First, get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different, and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery, Detroit, Michigan.
Riverfront Stadium, we go on to the top of the second inning. No score in the game, and for the New York Mets, it'll be third baseman Wayne Garrett for openers against left-hander Don Gullett. The Reds 20-19 as we begin play, and this is the 40th game of the season. And with the Dodger 3-2 victory over Chicago last night on pinch hitter Bill Buckner's eighth-inning sacrifice fly that broke a 2-2 tie, the Reds are now 5 full games back of the Dodgers, with L.A. going in to the second game of that Chicago series at Dodger Stadium tonight. Don Sutton will be on the mound after his 8th victory against Bill Bonham. Garrett, a left-handed batter, hitting .275 with a home run and 7 RBIs, and that home run came in a pinch hit roll against Cincinnati's Pedro Bourbon in New York. First pitch to him from Gullett is too low, ball 1. Garrett, Grody, and Harrelson here in the second. The 1-0 pitch taken on the outside corner, a called strike. Geronimo pulled a couple of steps into right center field for Garrett. Gullett with a look in and the break-even pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Don back, 1-2 pitching, and that's too low as Bench digs it out of the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whereas the Reds are 5 back of the Dodgers in the West, the New York Mets are 4 back of the Chicago Cubs in the Eastern Division. That's really gotten tight over there. 2-2 pops up. Very high on the right side as Tony comes down the line from first. He's under, and he makes the catch to retire Wayne Garrett. Jerry Grody, the new New York Mets batter. Catcher hitting .280, off to a good start with a home run and 11 runs batted in. With the Cubs somewhat falling on hard times lately, Philadelphia's closed the gap in the Eastern Division to a game and a half. The Phillies with their 7-game winning streak snapped last night in the Houston Astrodome. Pittsburgh 2.5 back, the Mets 4. Montreal 6 and St. Louis 6.5. Grody in, waiting, first pitch missing to him, inside, ball 1. Bud Harrelson, the shortstop, is the on-deck batter. No score in the top of the second. The 1-0 delivery swung on and fouled over the screen. Back down below, evening the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, for a right-handed hitter, the Reds defense deploys itself so that Grody with a lot of room in left center. He takes the fastball from Gullett high, ball 2. 2-1. Amazing innings worked and hits ratio for Gullett. Only 49 hits and 66 1/3. Here's another line shot to right, but there is Griffey on the run to make the catch. Two away in the inning for Bud Harrelson. Interesting here in the first couple of innings, and Met right-handed hitters having trouble getting around on Gullett. All 3 of their well-hit balls, and 2 have gone for base hits off the bats of Mian and Torrey, and now the line out to right field by Grody. All for right-handed batter. 2 away, the base is empty. Harrelson up high to him, ball 1. But he's still having trouble with that bad knee of his. Yogi right now playing him primarily against left-handed pitching. That's over for a strike, 1-1. Batting but .213 on RBI, and against us at Shea Stadium in the 3 games was up only 1 time. The 1-1 delivery, he attempts to bunt, fouls, and ball appeared to hit off Johnny Bench's left thigh and bound on down the first base foul line. So Gullett continually staying out in front of the hitters. He's 1 ball and 2 strikes with Bud Harrelson as Jerry Koosman moves on deck. Gullett winds, delivers, line drive down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Foster digging toward the corner as Harrelson rounds first and comes on to second with a 2-out double. The 3rd hit of the game for the New York Mets as Harrelson punches one down the left field line.
Marty, it looks like either a curveball or a forkball, but Don had very poor motion with it. He really tipped his hand, and Buddy usually you just try to play hardball with it.
That's the 2nd double of the year for the New York shortstop. And it keeps things going for Jerry Koosman. Koosman, not a bad hitting pitcher by any means. Has been up 19 times this season with 4 hits and 3 RBIs. He swings and misses. Had a good cut at that pitch. Reds nothing, the Mets nothing. We're in the New York second with Harrelson at second base and 2 men out. Foul ball back to the screen and quickly 0-2 as pitcher faces pitcher. Gullet to the rising bag as Harrelson backs off second base. Johnny shakes off Johnny Bench's side. Now an affirmative nod of the head to glance back at Harrelson, the pitch. That's too high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gullet into his stretch motion. And the 1-2 delivery. Strike 3 swinging. He got him with a high fastball, and that retires the side. For the Mets in the second, no runs, a hit, a man left on, and after an inning and a half at Riverfront, it's the Reds nothing and the New York Mets nothing.
Josephine, I'm home.
Well, it's about time, Napoleon. Say, what are you hiding in your coat? Persia? Constantinople?
No.
A loaf of French bread, maybe? What is it?
A new toaster.
A new toaster. We don't need a new toaster.
Listen, Josephine, I got it free for opening a savings account at the bank across the boulevard. And all I had to do was deposit $5,000.
You call $5,000 for a toaster free, Napoleon? Sometimes I think you're short on brains, too. You've got to look hard for the right bank. One with the services we need, with plenty of security, nice people, and a good, solid reputation. And you want to chuck all that for a new toaster?
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, so did Waterloo.
At First National Bank of Cincinnati, we don't give away toasters or frying pans or premiums of any kind because our business is banking. Pure and simple.
National Bank.
Tonight's game opens up a big 8-game homestand for the Cincinnati Reds here at Riverfront. The Mets are in town again tomorrow night with game time at 8:05, while the Phils will be here this weekend for 3 games. Friday night, Saturday at 7 o'clock, and Sunday afternoon. Then at the Expos for a doubleheader on Memorial Day and a single game next Wednesday night. It all adds up to plenty of baseball at Riverfront Stadium. And the Reds invite you to join in all the fun and excitement and get your tickets in advance. No scores. We go to the home second inning. Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, Dave Concepcion, and hopefully many more against Jerry Koosman, who retired the Reds in order in the first inning. Bench batting .256 with 6 home runs and 25 RBIs. Got a 10th inning home run following Griffey Saturday in Montreal, his first since the 7th of the month. Pitched to him, swung on, and a very high fly ball into straightaway left field. Kingman looking, waiting, and he makes the catch.
That was, Marty, just a fastball where Koosman just took a little bit off of it. You know, it's strange how, you know, just by changing speeds, exactly what Koosman did there. Just had John out in front enough. Hit the ball good.
That'll bring up Tony Perez, who showed signs in Montreal of coming out of his slump, had 4 hits and 13 times at the plate against Expo pitching. Batting .204, and the first pitch to him is an off-speeder from Koosman that misses the ball. Tony with 5 homers and 25 RBIs. Koosman back dealing. Perez takes this one in for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Koosman not one to waste a great deal of time on the pitching mound. When he comes to pitch, he comes to do just that. Even with Perez, he delivers. That is swung on and missed. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tony was simply a miserable series in New York. He was up 8 times without a hit, although had a couple of RBIs. That's up and in on him, a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Koosman starting off by retiring the first 4 Reds to face him. Break-even pitch on the way. Perez fouls this one back. Well, we face the Mets, the Expos, and the Phillies on this homestand, and we got a chance to see a couple of clubs that up to this point we have not seen. On the next road trip, it'll be the Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then the Chicago Cubs following that back here. Line smash, a foul ball. Ricocheting on into left field, where it's picked up by Dave Kingman. So a holding count of 2-2 on Tony Perez with 1 out and the bases empty. Kuzman checking in with Jerry Grody. He delivers. That is swung on and popped in the shallow center. Neon going back, and Klein, who'll catch it? Nobody. It falls in. Staub has to pick it up, and Tony ends up at second base. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Lithograph art prints of the batting cage by Clint Orleman are now available. Stop by 580 Gibson News or call or write the Reds office for information.
Tony Perez standing out at second base. He dumped one into shallow center field. Klein's playing deep for him. And Tony simply hit it between the oncoming Kleins and the backpedaling Felix Neon. Neon turned his back to the plate at the last moment and might have gotten a piece of his glove on the ball, but it was finally picked up by Rusty Staub. So the Reds have a chance to score. Here's Dave Concepcion. He swings it to drive foul into the seats down the left field line. For Perez, his 8th double of the year. Pete Rose and Johnny Bench tied in that department on the Reds club with 11 doubles apiece. Davey batting .291. He's knocked in 21s, has had a couple of home runs. Klein's mopping his brow on a very warm, humid night in Cincinnati. The weather is, well, it's been unbelievable the last couple of days. Checking Perez, a pitch. High and inside to Davis. 84-degree temperatures at game time, so that should give you some idea. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A base hit now can put the Reds a run on the board here in the second inning. Kuzman with a long pause. He throws. David takes outside, ball 2. 2-1. Foster will be up next. Kuzman's next delivery is inside to Dave, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, Riverfront Stadium has been a very, very kind park to the Reds up to this point. In 15 games, the Reds have won 11 times. 3-1 is hit down the right side and back into the stand. So Kuzman, with that foul strike, has gotten the count full on Concepcion. Tony Perez out at second base on the first Cincinnati hit and the Reds' first base runner. 3-2 pitch. Swung on back to the mound. Kuzman drops the ball. He throws on to first base, but really a break of sorts for the Reds because Perez had stranded quite a bit of far off the bag at second. Kuzman had it. Then he lost it. By that time, Perez was able to get back to second as Concepcion was thrown out at first base. So 2 away as the meeting takes place just to the first base side of the mound involving Grody, Torrey, and Kuzman as George Foster steps in. I guess this might well be the happiest guy on the Reds club today because of the fact that Sparky Anderson in Montreal saying he was going to go with a set lineup. And Foster would be his everyday left fielder, although George in this situation is not going to get a chance to drive Tony Perez in. With a left-handed batting Geronimo on deck, they're going to walk Foster and take their chances with Cesar. Ball 3. And the intentional walk completed. First walk given up by Kuzman, and now it'll be Geronimo at the plate with 2 men on and 2 men out. Geronimo batting .298 with 2 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Left-handed batter against a left-handed Mets pitcher with Perez at second base and leading. Foster likewise at first. Kuzman delivers. Geronimo swings and does not get it. Strike 1. Mets going with the percentages and walking Foster to get to Geronimo. And now Kuzman out in front delivers. That's inside, an off-speed pitch. Leveling the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Tony Perez with a one-out double in the shallow center field that eluded Kleins and Millan after Concepcion bounced back to the box. Foster walked intentionally. 2 away in the inning. Geronimo way out in front of that pitch, and it's strike 2. He's behind, a ball and 2 strikes. So Jerry Koosman a pitch away from stranding 2 Reds runners on here in the second. Checks them and delivers, and Geronimo takes this one just inside. Koosman trying to spot one over on the inside corner, but did not get it. 2-2. That's outfield pretty much playing Geronimo straight away. In many games, the center fielder might shade him a bit toward left, but not in this case. Kleins playing him straight away. There's ball 3 low. And now with 2 men out, Tony Perez will be heading toward third, and George Foster will be on the move toward first. Toward second base, 3-2 the count on Cesar Geronimo as Koosman gets a sign from Jerry Grody. And the payoff pitch on the way. That is strike 3 swinging. That's all for Geronimo, and that's all for the Reds' threat in the second. No runs, a hit with 2 men left on, and after 2 complete, the Reds nothing and the New York Mets nothing.
There's a feeling wrong, this America found to see people feeling free. Free to choose a new way, free to stand up and say, you be you and I'll be me. And you catch that thirst for real women, then you need one sexy feeling. A pet feeling, a Pepsi feeling, for feeling free. Join the Pepsi people, feeling free, feeling free.
Limited number of Freedom Train tickets available at all Shillett Hills stores.
The New York Mets sending up the top of the order here in the top of the third in a no-score game. Don Gullett for Cincinnati, Jerry Koosman, the left-hander for the New York Mets. And as Gene Kleins gets set to step in and get the third inning underway, here to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, Kleins in the first inning, 1 down swinging. Gene with a 121 batting average. He's had 1 double. No scores, we go to the third. The Mets have had 3 hits off Don Gullett, 2 of them coming in the first inning, singles by Millan and Torrey, and then the Bud Harrelson double in the second. Gullett has struck out 2. Got Kleins and Koosman. His first pitch to Kleins misses outside of ball. Don in his 9th start of the year, he's completed 4 games. A fine 205 earned run average. The 1-0 to Kleins. Swung on and a 2-bouncer. Morgan at second has it. He throws on to Perez. 1 away. All right, Felix Millan steps in. Millan singled between Tony Perez and the first base bag in the first inning. Millan, who chokes the bat probably more than anyone in the National League, maybe in baseball. Always wonder if he ever hits himself in the stomach with a bat hand. He takes the strike from Gullett. Rusty Staub waits on deck. Gullett into the line, the 0-1. That swung on, a bouncer by Rose, charging his Concepcion, running through. Did he get him? He did. Close play, and David had to get rid of that one, and something on it in a hurry. Well, close play. Bruce Fleming, the first base umpire, fires up the outside for 2 away, and Rusty Staub to the plate. Staub hit a fly ball to Geronimo in right center field in the first inning. Rusty, a 307 batting average. He's had 5 home runs and 25 RBIs. Gullett delivers, and Staub looks at a breaking ball just under the knees. 1-0. Outfield about straight away from Staub. Rose deep and well off the line at third. Gullett's 1-0 delivery. Swung on, line drive, center field, a base hit. As Geronimo blocks the ball, has it bounce away from him, but not far enough for the advance of Rusty Staub. So Staub has the fourth hit for the Mets off Don Gullett with 2 out here in the third, and Joe Torre steps in. Torre in the first inning singled between Morgan and Perez in the right field. Outfield will play Torrey straight away, and again Rose is deep. Now Concepcion is about 3 steps behind the back line at shortstop. Gullett delivers, and that swung on slow chopper. Third base side goes foul. 0-1 the count. Tonight, straight A night again, and approximately 10,000 straight A's with us tonight. 0-1 the count with Rusty Staub at first base, 2 away. Dave Kingman on deck. The stretch by Gullett, and the 0-1 to Torrey. That's strike 2 call. Well, down out in front, 0-2 to Joe Torrey. Torrey playing first base tonight. When we were in New York, Joe was at third. Here's the 0-2 from Gullett. That's a check swing. The pitch is a bit low. Check with first base umpire Bruce Fleming. He says no, sir. First the ball, 2 strikes. Gullett straddles the pitching rubber, now steps on and gets his sign from bench. Now steps back off the pitching rubber and picks up the rosin bag, rubs the perspiration off his left arm. Well, this is the first real warm night we've had. And welcome. 1-2 to count. Gullett sets, checks Staub at first, delivers to Torrey. Swung on, and a foul tip into the middle of Johnny Bench. And for Don Gullett, his third strikeout, and the Mets are out here in the third inning. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors. 1 runner left on base. The middle of the third, no score.
What's good and cold and loved all over? Stroh's 12-can Stay Cold Pack. Because it's made to get 12 cans of Stroh's beer cold and to help keep them good and cold until you need them. And it's a neat package to have around. The cans are easy to get to. They roll right out when you need them. And you can dispose of the empties just by putting them back in the pack. For a party or picnic or any occasion where beer lovers gather, put a few Stroh's Stay Cold Packs around. The beer stays cold and smooth and mellow. And it's right there at your fingertips when you're thirsting for a cool, fresh-tasting beer. So roll out the beer in Stroh's easy-to-carry compact Stay Cold 12-pack.
From one beloved to another, Stroh's beer. From one beloved to another, Stroh's.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
All right, it's going to be Don Gullett, Pete Rose, and Ken Griffey in the third for the Reds. Don owns a .259 batting average with 5 RBIs. Don has had 7 hits and 27 times to the plate. Jerry Kuzman ready to go to work. We've had a hit off of him. He struck out 1 and intentionally passed 1. Gullett takes a strike as he bluffs the bunt. 0-1. Well, Don Gullett spent Sunday night in his new home down around Portsmouth the first night. He's for Jerry Kuzman. Well, quickly 1 out here in the third for the Reds. Entering Pete Rose to the plate. Pete was out on an excellent play by Rusty Staub in the first inning. He's hitting a hard line drive toward right center. Staub going to his knees to make the grab. Rose, a .304 batting average. 3 home runs, and Pete owns 32, or 23, I should say, RBIs, 11 doubles. He takes a strike at the knees from Kuzman. Ken Griffey on deck. Kuzman 3-1 on the year, and the 0-1 to Pete. Low and inside, Pete has to skip rope to get out of the way, and it's even at 1-1. Kuzman making his 8th start of the year with 3 complete games, and well, not a real impressive earned run average, .431. Coming into the game, he had allowed 50 hits in 48 innings. 1-1 on the way. Rose swings, slow chopper, third base side. Brody after Kuzman up, throws, not in time. Pete Rose, a little chopper along the third baseline. Gary Kuzman feeling the ball and getting a throw on to Joe Torre, but not near in time. So Rose with an infield single, our second hit off Gary Kuzman. That'll bring Ken Griffey to the plate. Kenny bounced hard back to the mound in the first inning. Griff came into the game with a .348 batting average. A home run. He hit that Saturday afternoon in the 10th inning of John Montague in Montreal. 11 RBIs. Kuzman set and delivers to Griffey. That swung on and missed. An off-speed pitch. 0-1. Well, a good crowd on hand tonight. Reds at this point are 43,751 ahead of the record-setting 74 pace. Jerry Kuzman to the belt and delivers to Griffey a fastball. Misses high and inside. 1-1. American League, Boston leads Oakland 6-0. In the 6th inning, New York 2-0 over Kansas City in the 3rd. Only 2 games underway. The 1-1 to Griffey. Curve, swung on and missed. Count of ball, 2 strikes now to Kenny Griffey. Joe Morgan waits on deck. Griffey away from the batter's box, and apparently Kenny might be having some trouble with that right hand. Hand that he hurt, I believe it was in Houston, I'm not sure. One-two on the way. Swung on, ground ball. Beyond has it at second. He'll get the fourth Rose at second base. Go back to first, but not near in time. So Rose is out 4-6 on the fourth play. Griffey at first base. 2 away, and Joe Morgan to the plate. Joe in the first inning bounced to Joe Torre at first base. No score. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Now Garrett, the New York third baseman, is in right on the white line. Kuzman sets, delivers to Morgan. That's a curveball that misses outside. 1-0. National League, Atlanta scored 4 times in the first inning, and now they lead Montreal 5-1 in the 4th. Only game underway at the moment. Kuzman throws over to first, and stepping back is Ken Griffey. Kuzman has his sign and delivers to Morgan down low, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Jerry turns and looks out to center field and wipes his forehead. Now steps back onto the pitching rubber and looks into his catcher, Jerry Grody. And the stretch. And the pitch swung on and missed. 2-1. Kuzman with a fastball in at the knees on the inside corner. So it's 2 balls, a strike to Morgan. Griffey has stolen 1 base this year. He's been caught twice. A throw over to first, and Griffey steps back. 2 balls, a strike to Joe Morgan with 2 out and Griffey at first base. Kuzman again sets and delivers. Morgan checks, and it's up high. 3-1. Three balls, a strike to Joe Morgan. He looks down to Alex Grammas. Flashes a sign. Kuzman looks into Jerry Grody, who flashes a sign, and stretch. The 3-1 on the way, low and inside, ball 4. And that's the second walk issued by Jerry Kuzman. So Morgan moves on to first base. Griffey down to second. With 2 away, Johnny Bench steps in. Bench in the first inning hit a fly ball, I should say in the second inning, hit a fly ball to Kingman in left field. Fastball that Kuzman just took something off of and got John out in front. For Morgan, that's the 36th walk of the year. Kuzman ready. Checks back with Griffey at second. Now delivers to Bench, and John swings, hits it hard to left center field. Kingman on the run. He gets through it on the run. Nice play by Dave Kingman, and he grabs it on the run, moving towards center field. So the Reds in the inning. No runs, they get a hit, there were no errors, 2 runners left on base, and at the end of 3, it's New York nothing, Cincinnati nothing.
To carry home something good to eat. Pretty girl and a big boy. The dancing in your car is joy. The family you want to train. Come on in the alley. Be a good demonstration. The Christmas has much more. Be a good demonstration. The Christmas has so much more.
Well, we've gone through 3 here at Riverfront. No score. The Reds have had 2 hits. The Mets have had 4. For New York, it'll be Dave Kingman to lead it off in the 4th. Back with the action, Marty Brenneman.
Okay, Dave Kingman 0 for 1 tonight. Gullett popped him up to second base in the first inning with 2 men on base and 2 out. Mets have had hits in every inning off Gullett, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and the third inning 2-out single by Rusty Staub. Big Dave Kingman, former All-American from the University of Southern California. Of course, coming over to the Mets in the offseason deal with the cash deal with the San Francisco Giants. Takes the first pitch from Don Gullett, a 1-hopper to the plate, ball 1. Kingman followed by Wayne Garrett and Jerry Grody here in the 4th inning. They with a nice running catch of Johnny Bench's line drive to kill off the last inning threat for Cincinnati. Swing and a miss. Gullett coming back with a good fastball. He kept it down to Kingman. 1 ball and 1 strike. Only one other game currently underway in the National League. Atlanta leading Montreal 5-1 in the 4th. Dusty Baker's had his 8th homer of the year. Here's a very high pop back behind the plate. Johnny Bench coming back. And will he have a play? He will not, as it hits just over the screen in the first couple of rows behind home plate. This reminder, June 6th and 7th will be the 4th annual General Electric Days at Riverfront Stadium, and once again it promises to be another big weekend for GE employees, their families, and friends. Kingman back in, a ball and 2 strikes behind Don Gullett. The left-hander to his motion. The pitch swung on and popped up. Again out toward Joe Morgan, who stands on the outfield turf and makes the catch for out number 1. So 2 times up tonight, right-handed batting Kingman has popped out to second base, and the batter now is third baseman Wayne Garrett. Garrett popped out to Perez as a leadoff batter in the second for New York. Base coaches for the Mets, Roy McMillan at first and Eddie Yost over at third. Garrett takes ball 1. This is the 200th Major League appearance tonight for Don Gullett. Hey, the guy's been around so long. Swing and a foul by Garrett, leveling the count at a ball and 1 strike. Hard to believe that Don Gullett's only 24 years old. You Cincinnati fans who've been following this club for some years think back 1970, his first full year up, and he was only 19 years old then. 2 low, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Garrett, 1 out. No score in our game in the 4th inning. Gullett back. Garrett takes on the outside corner, a called strike. 2-2. Griffey back deep in right field. Garrett with good power. He hits a fly ball into left field. Foster racing back near the warning track, slows to a trot and makes the catch in fair ground. 2 out. That'll bring up Jerry Grody, who lined out to Geronimo in the second inning. Other National League games tonight. Philadelphia underway, scoreless in the top of the first at Houston. Lonborg against J.R. Richards. In a 10 o'clock beginning, San Diego hosting St. Louis. Alan Foster against Elias Sosa. Chicago at L.A., Bonham versus Sutton. And Pittsburgh at San Francisco. Doc Ellis against Big Ed Halicki, just recently called up from the Giants Phoenix AAA club. Here's Grody and here's Geller. Call strike one. Mets with a couple on in the first inning, had a 2-out double by Harrelson in the second. So they've had runners in scoring positions in 2 of the 4 innings. Here's a fly ball hit back into center field. Geronimo starts back, now comes loping in. He makes the catch and the side retires. First time in the game that Gullett's gotten them out in order, and as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, it is Cincinnati nothing and New York likewise. Tony Perez to open up the bottom of the 4th inning for the Cincinnati Reds. Perez, his second time up, he had a double into shallow center field in the second inning, one of 2 Reds hits off Jerry Koosman tonight. Koosman ready to go to work to Perez, and the first pitch is an off-speeder inside, ball 1. Reds have had 2 men on in 1 inning. That was the second. Well, we had 2 men on also in the third. Could not get anything across. There's a fastball up to Perez. 2 balls and no strikes. In the American League, Boston hammering Oakland for the second night. 6-0 in the 7th inning. The Red Sox have had 3 home runs in that game. Yankees leading Kansas City with Pat Dobson 2-0 in the 4th. Baltimore, Chicago postponed because of rain. 2-0 delivery. Swung out and fouled out of play. Detroit at Minnesota, Texas at Milwaukee, not yet underway. Outfield deep for Perez. The Koosman pitch taken inside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Sight swinging, it's full. Dave Concepcion standing in the Cincinnati on-deck circle.
The $1,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Purchase your Cincinnati Reds tickets downtown at 580 Walnut and at the stadium, at Burkhart's in Kenwood, Tri-County, Beachmont, Hyde Park, and Northgate, and at Home Federal Savings in Western Hills.
Tony Perez, a fly ball deep, declines in center for the first 4th inning out. Now Dave Concepcion, who hit a hard one-hopper back to the mound his first time up. Maybe in somewhat of a slump lately, his average dropping down to 289. Change from Koosman stays up high to him, ball 1. Fastball is in. Taken strike, 1-1 to count. Koosman waiting for Concepcion to get set. And throws a 1-1 delivery. That's inside to him. Ball 2, 2-1. Joe mentioned a good crowd on hand tonight to welcome the Reds back to Riverfront. Be with Eastern Division ball clubs for quite some time still to come after the 10-game road trip to New York, Philadelphia, and Montreal. There's ball 3. In fact, we'll be with clubs in the other division up through the 15th of June when we are in Chicago for a weekend series and resume Western Division play with the Atlanta Braves. Here's a smash to center field. That almost took Koosman's head off. Davey zeroing in off Jerry's 3-1 pitch and lined a single back up the middle, the 3rd Cincinnati hit. Here's Foster now with 1 out and a man on. He had an intentional walk in the 2nd inning. George, a .273 batter with 6 homers and 13 RBIs. He and Johnny Bench are tied for club leadership in the long ball department. Koosman checks David, delivers ball 1 inside. Well, in a situation such as this, second-ranking base stealer at first base, scoreless game in the 4th. Do you run him? We'll see. David has stolen 8 bases in 11 tries. Koosman's 1-0 is taken high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Geronimo on deck. Koosman taking a little bit extra time with a runner on. Here's a throw to first base, and Davey steps back. Jerry Kuzman behind the Foster, 2-0, needs a strike. He'll throw to first again, and again Concepcion is back ahead of the throw to Torrey. Two straight throws that way. Concepcion bouncing off the bag, 1 foot on the carpet, 1 foot on the dirt. Foster back in the batter's box. Here's Kuzman's stretch, the 2-0 delivery, and that is outside. It's 3-0. Well, again, you have to go back to the second. Got a left-handed batter, rather, coming up in Geronimo after Foster. And Foster's not seen a whole lot among the first 3 pitches that Kuzman has thrown to him that were worth hitting. The 3-0 is, and he grounds to third. Garrett goes on to Millan. That's one. And to Torrey, that's the double play. Foster getting the green light of the 3-0 pitch, bounces into a 5-4-3 double play, and the Reds are out in the 4th inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left on, and through 4, the Reds and the Mets, no score.
There's always got to be an end to the day. There always comes a time when we go our own way. I gave it all I had, but now it ends. The show is over. Good night, my friend. Now it's time to go my homeward way. For a beer that still made the right way. It's a moment every beer lover knows. When you end your day with a stroll. From one beer lover to another stroll.
That was Lobo for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
Well, Father's Day is June 15th, and that's less than 4 weeks away. Cincinnati Reds suggest you stop by the ball club's 580 gift shop and newsstand in downtown Cincinnati. You'll find some terrific gift ideas like Cincinnati Reds watches. There's a distinctive gold one just perfect for Dad. The dial bears the Reds' official emblem. This 580 exclusive sells for $100. And there's also a watch for youngsters, too. Stop by soon. 580 Gifts and News in downtown Cincinnati. Here in the 5th inning, Don Gullett to be working to 8-9-1. Bud Harrelson, who doubled down the left field line in the 2nd inning, will start it off. He shortens up on the bat as Gullett comes quickly off the mound, but it's taken by Harrelson, ball 1. That's no runs, 4 hits. The Reds no runs, 3 hits. Harrelson takes the strike, and it's 1-1. Gullett, far as strikeouts and walks, has fanned 3, has not walked a batter. Even with Bud Harrelson as he delivers a 1-1 pitch, that's swung on and missed, strike 2. Again, we'll tell you, in case you have not already been informed, that Reds called up pitcher Raleigh Eastwick from Indianapolis today and sent out on option third baseman John Vukovich to that club. So Eastwick becomes the 10th pitcher on the Red staff. Swing and a miss. That's the 4th of the game for Don Gullett. As he got Bud Harrelson with a pitch up, and with 1 away, here comes pitcher Jerry Kuzman, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Gullett, since he stopped single in the 3rd, has now retired 5 batters in a row. He got him out in order in the 4th. Here's a pop foul that'll be out of play off to the right of the plate. Tomorrow night, another good pitching matchup with Jack Billingham going against Tom Seaver. 8:05 start. We hope you'll be here. Up high, a ball, 1-1. Well, the scoreboard stumper tonight, Manny Sanguillen is currently the National League's top hitter. Only 2 catchers have ever won the National League batting title. Who are they? Pulls this one foul into the seats off to the left of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Don Gullett to Jerry Kuzman. As the Reds and the Mets are involved in a scoreless game in the top of the 5th. Gullett tries to put him away, but pitch stays high, 2-2.
Who's grinning at? You got the answer?
You never can tell. I might be an upset if I did. Here's ball 3. O'Gullen at one time ahead of Kuzman, a ball and 2 strikes. Now will be throwing the payoff pitch to it. Here it comes. He sends a little soft line drive into center field for a base hit. Kuzman picks up hit number 5 for the New York Mets. They go back to the top of their order for center fielder Gene Klein. He struck out in the first inning and was thrown out Morgan to Perez in the third. 5th hit of the year for Jerry Kuzman. Pete Rose plays about even with the bag at third. Finds a right-hand batter. The pitch swung on, hit down the right field line. Griffey starts over, but will not have a play on the ball. We talked about Gene Klein's earlier. Well, you look back, 287, a lifetime batting average. He, back-to-back years, hit over 300 for the Pirates. 71, 308, 72, 334. 0-1 delivery. Swung on ground ball by Rose, by Concepcion. A base hit left field. Kuzman to second base and holds there. And the Mets trying to stir something up in the 5th. They've had back-to-back hits from Kuzman and Kleins. And Felix Millan will be at the plate with 1 out and 2 on. Millan singled to right field in the first inning and failed in his bid to get an infield hit in the third on a fine play by Concepcion, who charged his ground ball and came up throwing to get him out on a bang-bang play at first base. Millan batting .229. Gullet, a backward glance at Kuzman at second. The pitch swung on and foul over the screen and back into the stand. Strike 1. Mets also have added a player and sent one down since we saw him last. Bob Gallagher, who opened the year as an outfielder with New York, picked him up from Houston for Ken Boswell. They sent him down to Tidewater, called him backup yesterday, and sent pitcher Jerry Cram out to that club. Grounder foul between the bag and the coaching box at third. Strike 2. You know the answer to that question?
I'll take a wild guess.
Well, just
Ernie Lombardi and the guy playing first base tonight.
okay. That might be a pretty good guess. Dr. Ballou is pondering it over there, and another foul ball. Holding count of 2 strikes on Millan with Kuzman at second base and Gene Kleins at first.
Between the 4 of us, we ought to come close.
Well, as you say, you ought to be able to pretty well surround it. Come up with enough names that you're going to have 2 right. Gallett stretches and pitches, and it swung on and grounded to first. Perez wheels, looks, no play at second. He'll go to first to get the out on Millan. As both runners move up, Kuzman to third and Kleins to second base, and the always dangerous Rusty Staub coming up with 2 outs. Staub, after flying to center in the first inning, had a single to center field in the third. That base hit for Rusty extended his hit string to 8 straight games. He's gone 12 for 26 and has had 9 RBIs in his last 7 games, and pretty good opportunity right here. Gullet throws to him. Staub hits a fly ball to deep right center field. That is going to be in there as it bounds on the fence. Both runs are in. Staub to second base, and the New York Mets take a 2-0 lead. Rusty Staub jumping on Don Gullett's first pitch, and that ball hit the base of the wall on the fly in right center field. With Kuzman and Klein scoring, it's 2-0 New York. Rusty Staub continues to wield a very, very warm bat for the New York Mets. 26th and 27th RBIs of the year. Joe Torre 1 for 2. too low to him, ball one. Well, we've not completed 5 innings yet. The Mets have already banged out 7 hits. 3 hits in the inning that has so far produced a couple of runs. 1-0, high and outside, ball 2. Don looking in again. And his 2-0 delivery is swung on and bounced toward third. That's a foul ball. Pete Rose delivers it on back to the mound. 2 balls and a strike on Joe Torre. Well, Texas and Milwaukee underway. 3-1 the score. The Brewers lead it in the second inning. Now in the 8th at Fenway Park, and Boston shutting out the Oakland A's 7-0 behind Bill Lee. Went against Vita Blue tonight, and the Red Sox really made life miserable for the Oakland 8-game winner. Stop at second base, 2 out, 2 runs in. Torrey with a fly ball to deep right field. That ball is hit a ton. We could be trouble if it's fair, and that's a home run. 2-run home run to right field by Joe Torrey, his first home run of the year. The Mets are having a big 5th inning. It's now 4-0 New York. Opposite field home run by Torrey into the lower seats in right field, scoring Rusty Staub in a 4-0 lead. Here's Dave Kingman. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of pops to second base. He hits a very high pop again out into shallow center field. Concepcion calling for it. Davey backing and drops the ball. Go to second base. They did not get it. That'll be an error on Dave Concepcion on a mile-high pop off the bat of Dave Kingman. Kingman just sliding in safely out of the Joe Morgan tag, and that's the first error of the game.
Well, I believe Davey possibly was waiting on Geronimo. It seemed like that, or else it was so high up, I think maybe the wind might have carried it out a little farther than he thought.
Cincinnati bullpen busy now with right-hander Clay Kirby throwing. Wayne Garrett becomes the 8th batter up in the inning. He swings, ground ball first base. Perez has it. He goes to the bag to get the out on the side, retire. But in the 5th inning for the New York Mets, they get 4 runs on 4 base hits, 1 Cincinnati error, and 1 man left on. The end of 4.5. The Mets 4, the Cincinnati Reds nothing.
When somebody gets lost in the mountains, or there's a forest fire, or a plane goes down, or whenever somebody's in trouble, one of the first telephones that rings in Casper, Wyoming, belongs to Kyla Castleman. She gets the call because people know that she and the Mountain Rescue Explorers will get there quick, and they'll know what to do when they get there. When you live on the edge of the wilderness, you need people like Kyla and the 24 young people she leads and inspires. Because without her, emergencies could become disasters. Kyla Castleman doesn't have to spend her free time coming to the rescue, but she wants to, because she believes in people. Kyla Castleman's also a full-time employee at Marathon Pipeline Company, Drafting Department, Casper, Wyoming.
Marathon is people just like you, and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people.
Well, the Reds with a lot of ground to catch up on, down 4-0 as we come up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cesar Geronimo will start it off, and Ed Armbruster is in the on-deck circle and will be up as a pinch hitter for Don Gullett. And in answer to the scoreboard stumper tonight, the only 2 catchers ever to win the National League batting crown, both of them the Cincinnati Reds players. Here's a pitch to Geronimo, swung on a ground ball, second base Neon is up, throwing on to first, 1 away. Bubbles Hargrave, who had .353 in 1926 to win the National League crown, and Ernie Lombardi, who in 1938 batted .342, the tops in the league. Armbruster at the plate, batting .222. He's had 4 hits and 18 times up, a double and an RBI. Kuzman very, very stingy with base hits, has allowed but 3. He delivers to Armbruster, and it's inside. 2 ball 1. That's ball 2 low, 2-0.
Line on Gillett. 5 innings pitched. 4 runs, all of them earned.
Call strike, 2-1.
No walk. 4 strikeouts.
2 balls and a strike at Armbruster. Pete Rose will be up next. Kuzman working rapidly again, delivers, and Armbruster checks his swing on the pitch inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Clay Kirby continuing to throw in our bullpen. He'll be on the mound when the Mets bat in the 6th. Ball 4, tight. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Jerry Kuzman as Armbruster gets a walk and a pinch hit roll, and here's Pete Rose. Rose hit a slow chopper third base side in the 3rd inning and beat Kuzman's throw to the base for an infield hit. And for Pete, his 50th base hit of the season. Kuzman checks, delivers. Rose hits a ground ball. It will not be played by Millan. It's into center field. Armbruster puts on the brakes and quickly steps back into second base as Klein's got the throw back very, very fast. So he got him at first and second with 1 man out and maybe 0 in time on Jerry Kuzman as Ken Griffey comes up. Bounced back to the mound and reached on a fielder's choice his last time up in the 3rd inning. Four to nothing, New York Mets out in front here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Armbruster at second, Rose at first. Kuzman glances back out toward Armbruster in center field and now directs his attentions at batter Ken Griffey. He delivers. Griffey takes ball 1. Yogi Berra standing in the gateway to the New York dugout showing a bit of concern as he apparently says something to plate umpire Ed Bargo about that first pitch to Griff. Now the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. All of a sudden, Mr. Kuzman having trouble locating the strike zone. Walked Armbruster on 5 pitches, gave up the middle single to Rose, and is behind 2-0 to Griffey. 1 out in the inning. That's ball 3, inside and low. Now you lose Griffey to a walk. We got a chance to really do some damage with Morgan, Bench, and Perez all coming up. It looks like somebody's going to go down to the New York bullpen and begin throwing. Kuzman into his stretch. Here comes a 3-0 delivery. That's over for a strike. Right-hander Bob Apodaca will get things underway in the New York bullpen. Infield, double play depth. Harrelson pulled around the bag at second from his shortstop position. Here's a fly ball hit into shallow left field. Kingman coming in. He's under, and he will put it away for the 2nd out of the inning. So Kuzman, a pitch away from filling the bases with Reds, got a call strike in, and then entices Griffey to fly to left field. Here's Joe Morgan. First inning, he bounced out hard to Torrey at first, and then in the 3rd inning, Morgan picked up his 36th walk of the year, and this the Reds' 40th game. Pitch on the way. Taken above the head as Morgan ducks against the off-speed pitch, ball 1. Joe batting .346. It's a fly ball to deep right field. Staub is back, and it will be caught. Right against the fence, Rusty Staub makes the catch to retire the side. In the inning, no runs, a hit, 2 men left on, and through 5. The Mets 4, the Reds nothing.
Welcome once again to You Bet Your Balance, the ever-popular game show that asks the question, is free checking really free? And now say hello to our contestant for the day. Hello, sir.
Hi there.
You have free checking, right?
Right.
No service charge, no charge per check, right?
Right.
And to get free checking, you had to come up with a big chunk of money for your minimum balance, right?
Right.
Now think carefully. Can you use your minimum balance?
You're not supposed to.
Right. What happens if you do?
I have to pay a service charge.
Right. And now the biggie, all things considered, is free checking really free?
Well, it's
Time's up.
Oh.
You won't find so-called free checking at First National Bank of Cincinnati, but you will find a variety of checking plans that give you access to all your money all the time. Because at First National, we think you deserve the right to use your money any way you see fit. After all, you earned it.
First National Bank. Cincinnati.
Well, we take a look at our second pitcher of the night for the Cincinnati Reds as the Mets come to bat in the 6th inning. Right-hander Clay Kirby making his 8th appearance and his 3rd in relief. Kirby has won 2 and lost 3 with a .466 earned run average. And with the Reds trailing 4-0 in the 6th inning, he'll be facing first the catcher Jerry Grote, the only man who did not hit in that 4-run New York 5th inning. Kirby in 29 1/3 has given up 30 hits. He has struck out 18 batters and walked 12. Well, you can close the book on Don Gellett, 5 innings in which he allowed the Mets 8 hits and 4 runs, all earned. He struck out 4 and did not walk a hitter. Kirby with already a victory over the Mets. That came on the 10th of this month at Shea Stadium when he went 5 1/3 and gave them 5 hits and 1 run in a 7-1 Cincinnati victory. The only run allowed was a home run to Rusty Staub. Grote 0 for 2. He is lined to center and hit a fly ball to center field. Only inning in which the Mets have not had a hit tonight has been the 4th when Gellett retired him in order. That more or less was the quiet before the storm in view of what happened in the 5th. Well, we got to look for some good relief pitching right now and from here on the rest of the way and hope the Reds can muster enough offense against Koosman to produce a victory. Grote batting .274. Kirby delivers to him, and it's taken ball 1. Bud Harrelson, Jerry Koosman, the bottom 3 batters in the New York lineup to hit in the 6th inning. 1-0 delivery. That's high. 2 balls and no strikes. Grote checking in with Eddie Yost in the third base coach's box. Ground ball by the mound. Can Concepcion get to it? He can, and he threw him out. Good play by Davey. It'll be scored 1-6-3. Kirby deflecting it a bit. We'll pause again for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. 580 Gifts and News features distinctive Reds gift items and a complete newsstand. Stop by soon. The street-level lobby of the 580 building, corner of 6th and Walnut.
Harrelson with a hit and 2 times up. He doubled in the 2nd. Swings and misses on Kirby. Strike 1. That's scoring 4 times in the 5th inning. Here's a fly ball hit into right center field. Griffey with a long run. Geronimo gets there, and he makes the catch. 2 out. Jerry Koosman, who got the Mets going in the 5th with a 1-out single to center field, and he, as well as Gene Klein, scoring the first 2 runs of the game on Rusty Staub's double. Joe Torre then followed that double with a home run to right field. Koosman, a line drive, base hit to left. The 2 hits in the game for Koosman make it 9 total for New York and bring on Gene Klein for the 4th time. Grounded to 2nd, struck out, and a single and scored a run. Kirby out of the stretch will check Kuzman, deliver to the plate. That's swung on and fouled out of play. Tomorrow night, the Mets at 8:05, an off day Thursday, and then the Philadelphia Phillies. Recent acquisition of Dick Allen has spurred that club to 7 wins in 8 games, and they'll be in here Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. High and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kirby on in relief of Don Geller, who went the first 5 innings tonight. Kuzman a 2-out single. He's at first. Blind hits a very high pop outside of third. Rose is over, looking up, and the ball will be back in the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Final in Boston, the Red Sox with Bill. And Detroit scoreless in the top of the first inning at Minnesota. That was a 2-hit shutout for Lee. Check swing, foul ball by Klein. Here's Kirby shaking off the sign. Now stretches and now pitches. Fly ball hammered back into left field. Foster drifting back and makes the catch to retire the tie. No runs in the inning for New York. A base hit. They leave Kuzman on at first base, and after 5.5 innings, it's the New York Mets 4, the Cincinnati Reds nothing. This coming weekend promises to be an exciting one for Cincinnati Reds baseball fans. The Phils will be in town for 3 games. Friday night is team night. A giant fireworks show will follow Saturday night's contest, and there's a Sunday afternoon game. Then it's the Expos for a Memorial Day doubleheader. Army and Navy bands will present a real flag-waving musical show. So make your plans to be on hand for all the fun and get your tickets in advance. Johnny Bench to open up against Jerry Kuzman in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Reds, who have had more than their share of problems against left-handed starting pitchers this season, having trouble again tonight against another left-hander in Jerry Kuzman. He knocked off Dave McNally, a left-hander in Montreal, but of course prior to that shut out 3 consecutive times by left-handers Randy Jones, Tom Underwood, and Steve Carlton, and trailing 4-0 through 5 at-bats tonight against Jerry Kuzman. Bench is 0 for 2 at a fly ball to left in the second, and Kingman with a running catch in left center field to bring down his line drive in the 3rd inning. Bench batting .253. Kuzman ready to work to him, and here's his pitch. Bench checks his swing. It's ball 1. Jerry appeared to be close to real problems in the last inning. What with 2 men on base, he fell behind 3-0 to Griffey, but finally got him on a fly ball to left. Then swings and misses. And then Joe Morgan backed Rusty Staub to the fence in right field to bring down his drive to end the inning. Tony waiting on deck. The 1-1 pitch to Bench. Outside, ball 2. Bench swings on the 2-1 pitch and hits a foul ball back into the seats along the first baseline. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cincinnati hits a double by Perez in the 2nd. Infield hit by Rose in the 3rd. A single to center by Concepcion in the 4th. And Rose's base hit to center in the 5th inning. Here's a line shot. Left field. Foul ball. Well, I'll tell you, we've had some near misses in this game. 2-2 and holding on Johnny Bench. Bench taking his time getting back in. Kuzman checking things out with Grody now. Backs off the mound and will look once more. Okay, the 2-2 again. That strike 3 call as he got him with an off-speed pitch looking. First strikeout for Koosman since he got Gullett back in the third, and his third strikeout in the game. Tony Perez has doubled to center field and flied out to deep center. Call strike 1. Swung on and hit into left field. Here comes Kingman quickly in, and he guts the ball, get through. Ball rolls all the way to the wall on the warning track. Here's Tony heading for third as Klein comes up throwing, and Tony is in standing up with a triple. Well, Dave Kingman playing deep left field for Tony came racing in for that sinking line drive, and the ball went right through him and died on the warning track. So we bid to get a run as Perez triples to left field, his second triple of the year. Dave Concepcion at the plate is bounced to the mound and single to center field. 4-0 New York. Sixth inning with Perez at third and out. Koosman looks that way, winds, delivers. Davey takes ball one high and away. Well, let's get Perez in with a base hit by Concepcion. Maybe Foster can take this guy deep and get right back in it. Koosman, a tough customer tonight. Ball 2 is outside, 2-0. Hey, it's been amazing the success he's had considering the number of batters that he's been behind on so frequently in this game. Clay Carroll is going to go down to start throwing as we get to the point where if we can string something together, possibly get down to the pitcher slot. Concepcion goes all the way back to the dugout to get a new bat, and now will stop on his way back to the plate and tie his right shoelace. Reds Radio Network brings Cincinnati Reds baseball to fans in 6 states, and you can hear Reds games in Fort Wayne, Indiana on WLYV, Lebanon, Tennessee on WCOR, and in Springfield, Ohio on WBLY-FM. Davey back at the plate, out in front of Koosman, 2-0. Perez leading at third. David swings and does not get it. Here's a 2-1 on the way. That's foul back and out of play. In the inning, after bench looked at a call third, Perez a line drive to left that Kingman let get through for a ball that was scored, a triple. Now Concepcion is trying to bring him in and not only ruin Koosman's bid for a shutout, but maybe get us going in a big way. 2-2 the count. The infield back, the pitch. Again foul back. I don't need it. Souvenir down below for one of our staunch Cincinnati Reds fans. Try to play that ball that might have deprived somebody of a souvenir.
It had 2 souvenirs down there. Wound up below.
2-2 and holding the count on Concepcion. Koosman throws. David swings. Fly ball left field. It will be caught by Kingman. Here's Perez tagging. He comes to the plate, and he is in. So we're on the board on Concepcion's sacrifice fly to left field. Davies' 21st RBI of the year. 2 down in the inning, and now a 4-1 game, and the batter will be George Foster. Foster is grounded to the mound and singled to, or rather, drawn an intentional walk and hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Swung on, hammered to center. There's Klein. Now has to come in quickly and makes the catch at the shoe top to retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on at the end of 6. It's the Mets 4 and the Reds 1.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, and now with that hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great tasting treats from sandwiches to full-course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker, and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, and now with that hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Clay Kirby back for his second inning of relief and work of Don Gullett as we go to the top of the 7th. The Mets leading the Cincinnati Reds 4-1. Back to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Felix Millan, Rusty Staub, and Joe Torre here in the 7th inning for the Mets. Millan is 1 for 3. Singled in the 1st inning, grounded to short in the 3rd, and then bounced to Perez in the 5th. The Mets with 9 hits in the game, 8 of them coming off Don Gullett. Don working 5 innings, striking out 4, did not walk a batter. All 4 runs, earned runs. Kirby in his 2nd inning of work came on in the 6th inning, gave up a single to Jerry Kuzman with 2 out before Klein to the fly ball to Foster to end the inning. Kirby delivers and Millan takes high and inside the ball. Rusty Staub on deck. Tomorrow night, 2 right-handers go to the mound. Jack Billingham for the Reds and Tom Seaver for the New York Mets. 1-0 to Millan. That's under the knees, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. The Mets scoring the 4 runs in the 5th inning after 2 were out. 2-0 delivery, high, 3-0. After Harrelson struck out, Kuzman looped a single to center, and then Klein singled in the hole to left. Short and 3rd before Millan bounced out, both runners moving up, and then Staub doubled to deep right center field. Kirby's fastball in for a called strike, 3-1. Then Joe Torre hit an opposite field homer, his first of the year, to make it a 4-0 game at the time. Millan looks at strike 2, and Phoenix ready to throw the bat away, but I think he was just playing games with plate umpire Ed Vargo. Full count now to Millan as he asked for the pine tar rag from Rusty Staub, but maybe Millan not quite in agreement with plate umpire Ed Vargo as he walks back to the batter's box, apparently saying something to Vargo. 3-2 the count. Outfield around to the right for Millan. Clay, the payoff. That swung on, pulled down the left field line. Foster on the run. He's not going to get to that one. It's off the wall. Here's Foster's throw to second, but not in time. Millan in the sliding with a double, the 10th hit of the game. Well, Felix Millan pulls one down the left field line. It hits about 3 feet up on the wall for his second hit. The second off Clay Kirby, and the 10th in the game for the Mets. And it'll be Rusty Staub to the plate. Rusty is 2 for 3. After hitting a fly ball to Geronimo in right center, Staub singled to center and then doubled to right center to drive in the first 2 New York runs. Kirby to the belt and delivers to Staub up high with a slider. It's 1-0. Clay making his 3rd relief appearance. He had started 5 games at 2-3-1 loss record. He's high and outside with this pitch, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to stop. First of an 8-game homestand for the Reds. 2 with the Mets, and 3 with the Phils, and 3 with the Expos. Before we move on to Detroit and then to St. Louis. 2-0 delivery. That swung on line drive foul just outside the right field line. 2-1. The Reds will be in Detroit a week from Thursday to play their benefit game for the amateur baseball in that city, and then Friday night, a week from Friday, we'll open up a road trip in St. Louis against the Cardinals. 2 balls to strike to Rusty Staub with Felix Millan at second base, no out. Kirby delivers and Staub takes down low. 3-1. On deck, Joe Torre. Staub away from the plate, now steps back in. Now Rusty steps back from the plate again. And apparently Eddie Yost has given Staub the take sign, and maybe he doesn't believe it, the way he was looking at the dugout. We'll see. 3-1 delivery, low and inside, ball 4. Well, Kirby issues his first walk. First 2 are on for the Mets here in the 7th inning, and Joe Torre to the plate. That'll send Clay Carroll to the Cincinnati bullpen to start throwing. Joe Torre is 2 for 3, singled in the first, struck out in the third, and then hit that 2-run homer to the opposite field in the 5th off Don Gullett, his first of the 75 season. Outfield about straight away. Geronimo now moves a couple of steps toward right and center as Kirby delivers high and inside, and Torre has to lean away. Cleveland Indians today obtained Blue Moon Odom from the Oakland A's for pitchers Jim Perry and Dick Bosman, and an undisclosed amount of cash. Joe Torre swings, hits one deep to right center field, chasing a Griffey. He can't get to it. That's going to score 1 and 2. Staub right behind Millan, and now they're going to hold up Rusty Staub at third base. So Millan scores, and Staub is held at third, and a double for Joe Torre, his third hit of the ball game, and it's a 5-1 game. But Torre is 5th double of the year. He picks up his 3rd RBI of the game. Millan scoring from second, Staub moving around to third, and Torre's at third, or at second rather, with Dave Kingman at the plate. Now Dave Concepcion calls time, and he walks into the mound to talk with Clay Kirby. That's now with 11 hits in the game. Time called now, and here comes Sparky Anderson. Now we're probably going to have a pitching change, and we are. Sparky points to Clay Carroll down in the Reds bullpen, so Clay will be called on with no one out, runners at second and third, and 1 run in for the Mets. And while Clay Carroll makes his way in from the Cincinnati bullpen, we'll pause for this important message.
Hello, Gene Lehman, Riverside Ford. We have a tremendous sale on 1975 LTDs. We've ordered a lot of extra cars in. They're on sale right now, the full price, only $3,999. You heard me correctly. $3,999 at Riverside Ford. You can buy a 1975 LTD with the economy V8 351 engine, automatic transmission, power steering, and power brakes. We need your present car, truck, and trade, and of course you always get more for your trade in here at Riverside. We also have on hand 50 1975 model half-ton pickup trucks. These trucks have an 8-foot bed. We have a variety of colors. They have full factory equipment, and these trucks are on sale, the full price, only $3,077. Folks, if you're considering buying a car or truck and you want good service, we have the best Ford service in this area. If you do not live in the state of Kentucky, you do not pay Kentucky sales tax, we'll see you at Riverside Ford in Newport, Kentucky tomorrow.
Clay Carroll becomes the 3rd pitcher used by the Reds tonight. Clay has won 3 and lost 4. This will be his 18th appearance of the year. 25 innings, he's allowed 24 hits, has struck out 10, walked 10. Carroll with a fine 216 earned run average. This being his 18th appearance ties him with Pedro Bourbon, both with 18 appearances now in the 75 season. All right, he's ready to face Dave Kingman. Kingman is 0 for 3. Reds infield pulled in with Torre at second, Staub at third. Carroll delivers. Kingman takes just under the knees the ball. Outfield pulled around to the left for Kingman. As Clay Carroll delivers the 1-0, that swung on and bounced foul over to the New York dugout. Count evens 1-1. Things started off with Neon doubling to left, and then a walk to Rusty Staub, and a double by Joe Torrey to right center for the run. They lead it 5-1. Carroll's 1-1 to Kingman. Swung on again, foul. So Clay out in front of all 2 strikes now to Dave Kingman. Reds infield drawn in. Carroll the 1-2. Pair swung on and bounced foul by third base coach Eddie Yost. Whoop. There it goes. Out holding the ball, 2 strikes. Now Ed Vargo is going over to the ball boy, and apparently he's going to make his own selection of baseballs, or not his own selection. The ball boy apparently got hung up on the other side of the field over the Mets dugout, and so Ed had to go get his own baseball. 1-2 the count. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that's a big strikeout for Clay Carroll. 1 away now, and that'll bring Wayne Garrett to the plate. Garrett is 0 for 2, 0 for 3, make it. He's popped to first, hit a fly ball to left, and grounded to Perez. They're going to intentionally pass Garrett now, and that first pitch almost a strike. There's ball 2. Oh, it's a walk to Garrett. That'll load the bases and bring Jerry Grody to the plate. Grody is 0 for 3. Lined hard to Griffey and right in the second inning. Hit a fly ball to center in the 4th. And then hit one up the middle that Clay Kirby just got the tip of his glove on to slow it down, and Concepcion was able to field it and throw Grody out. The base is loaded with 1 away. And now the Cincinnati infield moves to halfway double play depth. Rose deep at third. Grody with a .280 batting average coming in. He's had a home run, 11 RBI. Carroll delivers. Grody swings and fouls a fastball. 0-1. The Mets with 11 hits. Picked up a couple here in the 7th and their 5th run. Clay shakes off a sign from bench. Still looking in. And is 0-1. Fastball swung on, bounce to Rose. He'll go to Morgan 1. Relay in time. Double play. A fine bit of pitching by Clay Carroll. Clay going 5-4-3, and we're out of deep trouble here in the 7th. In the inning, a run on 2 hits. There were no errors. 2 runners left on base, and at the middle of inning number 7, it's the New York Mets 5, the Reds 1.
If you think howdy, partner, and buenos dias sound like pretty friendly ways to greet a Red Rooter from Cincinnati, the Stroh Brewery has some friendly news for you. On Saturday, June 21st, the Reds Rooters Club is off for Houston, Mexico City, and Acapulco. The point being to watch the Reds with the Astros for 2 days in a row down in Houston, and then to join in a Mexican fiesta later in the week. On Saturday night and Sunday, the Reds versus the Astros, and of course a fine Stroh's hospitality party at your hotel in Houston. Then on Monday, June 23rd, everybody flies down to Mexico City for some really great sightseeing. Friday, June 27th, you'll find yourself in Acapulco for fun in the sun, including a yacht cruise of Acapulco Bay. On Sunday, June 29th, you'll jet back to Cincinnati. For complete information and reservations, call the Barney Rapp Agency at area code 513-381-7277. Once again, 381-7277.
New York Mets, Del Unser goes into center field, and Gene Kleins moves from center to left. Dave Kingman out of the lineup. Cesar Geronimo to face Jerry Koosman here in the 7th, swings and fouls the first pitch. On deck is Doug Flynn to hit for Clay Carroll, and throwing down in the Reds bullpen is Raleigh Eastwick. 0-1 the count. Mets leading 5-1. Reds at bat in the seventh. Kuzman back to the plate. The fastball is swung on and missed. And quickly, Jerry Kuzman on front 0-2. Kuzman winds is 0-2. Curveball swung on and lined by beyond into right field, a base hit. So Jerry Kuzman hangs his full curve, and the Chief jumps on it for a single to right field. For the Reds, their sixth hit. And Doug Flynn is going to the plate to hit for Clay Carroll. Doug Flynn had a couple of hits in Montreal Sunday, and Doug's batting average at .206. He's had 3 doubles. Kuzman delivers. Dougie swings and fouls it out of play. Flynn had his first Major League RBI Sunday afternoon at Montreal. The 0-1 to Doug. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. There's Harrelson, steps on the bag. Quick throw to Torrey, double play. Second double play the Mets have turned in. So 2 away for the Reds, and stepping in is Pete Rose. Pete has had a couple of hits and 3 times up. First inning was robbed of a hit by a fine catch by Rusty Staub in right field, then had a little chopper along the third baseline in the third that he beat out. Single to center in the fifth. Kuzman works, and Pete swings and lines it foul off to the right and out of play. Kuzman 3-1 on the year. It is 8 starts. All right, Kuzman's 0-1 delivery. There's a slow curveball that's under the knees, 1-1. Kuzman's 1-1 to Rose. Swung on, hit up the middle, and I'll be doggone if Kuzman doesn't grab it on an easy play. It looked like, but I don't think it was quite that easy. So Jerry spears a hard ground ball off the bat of Pete Rose, and that ends things for the Reds in the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, no one left on base, and after 7, it remains the Mets 5, the Reds 1.
A lot of times children get in trouble just because they're children. And when they do get in trouble, what they often need is someone like Alex Montoya to help keep them getting in trouble again. Alex is a man who remembers what it's like being a kid, which is why he works as a voluntary probation officer for the Denver County Court in Colorado. For the last 6 years, Alex has been a friend to children who've gotten in trouble with the law, helping them by building their belief in themselves and the world around them. Alex Montoya doesn't have to spend his time helping kids, but he wants to because he believes in people. Alex Montoya is also a full-time employee of Marathon Oil Company, Analytical Department, Denver, Colorado.
Marathon people just like you, and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people.
Now the 7-inning totals, the Mets 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Reds have run 6 hits and 1 error. New pitcher for the Reds in the 8th, and to tell you about him, here's Marty.
Well, the new pitcher is right-hander Raleigh Eastwick, who just joined the Cincinnati Reds today from the Indianapolis Indians. Eastwick, of course, was up with the Cincinnati Reds for a part of last year, appearing in a total of 8 games, had no record and an earned run average of 2, and while with Indianapolis, appeared in 13 games, had a record of 1 win, no losses, and a very fine 135 earned run average, along with 2 saves. Raleigh, 24 years old, 6'3", 180 pounds, from Haddonfield, New Jersey. And as Sparky pointed out earlier tonight on our pregame show, if necessary, he would use Eastwick tonight, and Raleigh now becomes the 4th pitcher of the evening to work for Cincinnati, who trails in the game by a score of 5-1. Bud Harrelson opening up the top half of the 8th inning for the New York Mets. He's doubling 3 times up. Eastwick working to the plate. Harrelson swings and misses. Jerry Koosman and Gene Kleins to follow. The Mets have got 11 hits. All off the first two pitchers who worked tonight. Gillett gave up 8 in 5 innings. Kirby 3 hits in 1 inning. Here's a fly ball down the left field line, and it is not being played by Foster, who went to foul ground and simply ran out of room as the ball hit upside the wall. But an 0-2 count on Bud Harrelson. One inning pitching numbers on Clay Carroll. An inning he gave no hits, 1 strikeout, 1 intentional walk, and as Joe pointed out, a fine job coming in with the bases loaded and got the side out. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Harrelson as Eastwick misses high and away. Raleigh wasting no time, brings it back, and a half swing produces a foul ball back into the seats along the green level on the left side. Count stays at a ball, 2 strikes. Hank Webb getting in some throws down to the New York Mets bullpen. Harrelson grounds to shortstop. Concepcion up with the ball and throwing, 1 out. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Team night is this Friday at Riverfront Stadium as the Cincinnati Reds take on the Phillies. Teams may purchase regular $3.50 reserve seats for only $1.50. Be on hand.
Jerry Koosman in. He's been a hitter tonight with a couple of hits and 3 tries. He fouls one back and out of play. And the strike 1 delivery is over for a taken strike 2 by Koosman. No balls and 2 strikes. Mets getting 4 big ones in the 5th inning. The Reds scoring a run in the 6th on a triple by Perez and a sacrifice fly by Concepcion. Here's strike 3 as Koosman tried to check his swing and couldn't do it. 2 away. And the Mets came back with another run in the 7th inning off of Clay Kirby and hold a 5-1 lead with 2 down in their 8th inning. First strikeout for Eastwick as he now works to Gene Klein. Klein just struck out, bounced to second, singled and scored, and fly to left field. Down in the dirt, bounces up and hits plate umpire Ed Bargo in the arm. One-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Eastwick brought it up there to him in a hurry. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, he has gotten Harrelson on the ground out, has struck Koosman out. Klein's a smash off of Eastwick's glove. First base side picks it up and flips to Tony. Pretty good play of a hard hit ball. He stuck his glove up, there it was, ran it down and got Klein's out. 3 up, 3 down, and as we go to the Cincinnati half of the 8th inning, it's the New York Mets 5 and the Reds 1.
You know, if you're like most people, you think all banks are pretty much alike. So when it came time for you to choose a bank, you probably didn't look too hard. Maybe you went to the bank nearest you for convenience. Or maybe you opened an account at a financial institution that gives away all sorts of free gifts. Or perhaps you were attracted by what's come to be known as free checking. But choosing the right bank is serious business, because when you open an account at a bank, you're actually buying that bank. Well, you put your money in it, don't you? So when it comes time for you to buy a banking service, we at First National would like to suggest you shop around. Compare services, security, people, reputation. Chances are you'll choose the First National Bank of Cincinnati. But the important thing is you'll know you made the right choice. First National Bank.
Ken Griffey to lead things off in the 8th inning for Cincinnati. Hitless and 3 times up against Koosman tonight. The first pitch to him swung on, bounced to Millan. Felix throws on to Torrey, 1 down. Well, Jerry Koosman getting the benefit of chalking up and out on only 1 pitch to the plate, and now will face Joe Morgan, who has been on 1 time with a walk in the 3rd inning. Outside of that, a first inning ground ball to first, and in the 5th with 2 men on base, drove 1 to deep right field. It stopped, pulled down at the fence. Reds have had only 6 hits in the game. Morgan stepping in, now stepping out, and back in again. Garrett playing in shallow at third base. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled away. Freddie Norman loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen. Five to 1 to score, the New York Mets. Oh, 1 delivery. Taken too much inside, a ball, 1-1. Tomorrow night at 8:05, final game of the brief two-game set with New York. Jack Dillingham, Tom Seaver. Should be a very, very interesting night pitching-wise if these two guys have got their good stuff, and we certainly saw that to be the case to a large degree in New York a week ago Sunday. Here's a ground ball to the mound. Koosman has it, takes his time to first, 2 out. Well, I'll tell you, Koosman has been in almost complete control in this game. He'll work to Johnny Bench. 2 fly balls to left and a strikeout at Ben Bench's fate. Koosman delivers and Bench swings and misses. Strike 1. That's just missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two down, nobody on base. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded foul at third base and on down to the New York bullpen. So Bench behind, a ball, 2 strikes. Garrett deep at third, guarding the line. Harrelson pulled over into the hole at shortstop. Millan shaded around towards second. The outfield offering Bench a lot of room in right center. Koosman now requests and gets a new baseball from plate umpire Ed Vargo. 27,024, the attendance at Riverfront Stadium tonight. Bench with a fly ball, that's gone. That's number 7 of the year for Johnny Bench. A drive well back into the green seats in left field, and it's now 5-2 as he takes Koosman downtown. Second home run in 3 games for Johnny Bench. What with a home run he hammered out in the 10th inning in Montreal Saturday. And now takes Koosman deep here in the 8th inning tonight. That'll bring up Tony Perez, who has doubled, fly to center deep, and triple to left field. Up high with a fastball. Koosman fires. Perez takes this off-speed pitch outside. Well, Tony has hit the ball hard 2 of his 3 times up tonight. That double he dumped into center in the second, but the deep fly to center and the triple line shot. 3 balls and no strikes. 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Perez a pitch away from getting a walk, and again, Koosman wants a new baseball. Got Bob Apodaca back loosening up along with right-hander Hank Webb. Second time tonight that Apodaca has been up and throwing. Here's a 3-0 pitch. That's ball 4 inside. And now Tommy Hall will go down to begin throwing to give Yogi Berra a left-hander and a right-hander in his bullpen. Perez gets a walk following the 2-out home run by Bench, and Dave Concepcion will be at the plate after the meeting breaks up out on the mound involving Koosman, Grote, and Torrey. Fourth walk allowed by Koosman in the game, and the first walk since he issued one to pinch hitter Ed Armbruster in the 5th inning. Davey is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Got his 21st RBI of the year, driving Perez in with his line out to left field in the 6th inning. Now let's keep it going here. 3 runs down. Perez at first, 2 out. David looks at the ball up to him. field playing straight away. The 1-0. High inside. Ball 2. Yogi Berra is going to come to the mound. New York skipper getting a little bit uneasy about what he's watching out there on the mound.
Marty, I'd have to think that Jerry Koosman is very tired right now, just the way he's really forcing himself, and I guess not a whole lot on it, and he's wild, as you can see, certainly. I'd have to say, I would think that Yogi will make the switch. I don't know what it is, but I think old Coos about had it.
Well, as we pointed out earlier, he's been 3-ball counts to a lot of Reds batters, and that coupled with the fact it's very hot and very humid in Cincinnati tonight. But with a 3-run lead, apparently Berra is going to stay with him at least through Concepcion. Let's see what happens. Behind it, David, 2-0 as Grody comes on back behind the plate. Berra stays out there a moment longer as Ed Bargo goes out. Now the meeting breaking up completely. With 2 out here in the 8th, Bench with a green cedar to left field, his 7th of the year. Perez got a walk. And Koosman behind to Concepcion, 2-0. 5-2, New York out in front. Okay, the left-hander comes set, delivers. That ball 3 high, 3-0. Koosman checking Perez a couple of steps off the bag, and it's ball 4 high. Yogi started out of the dugout. He holds up a moment, makes sure that Bob Apodaca is ready, and now makes his way to the mound. That's going to be all for Jerry Koosman. Yogi let him stay out there and finish pitching to Concepcion, but was not able to get either of his next 2 pitches over to give Davey a walk on 4 straight, and Berra checked to make sure Apodaca was ready. And now the call goes down to the New York bullpen, and it will be right-hander Bob Apodaca coming on to try and dispose of George Foster and end this late threat by Cincinnati to get back in the game.
Interesting to see how many pitches Jerry Koosman made in those 7 2/3 innings. He made a lot. And really, I guess the first real hot night we've had this year, and I would assume for the Mets also. So as I said, I think Jerry was just playing out of gas. And he was just hoping to get out of this and maybe complete the ball game. But, well, we got a right-hander in there. Let's see what we can do with him.
Bob Apodaca has worked in 6 games for the New York Mets this season, has no record, a 138 earned run average, and has picked up a couple of saves. He's got a chance to pick himself up his 3rd save of the year right here and also present Jerry Koosman with his 4th victory if he can handle George Foster and the Reds the rest of the way. Johnny Bench standing at the gateway to the Reds dugout talking to George Foster, and I'm sure trying to give him the benefit of his knowledge on how to and what to look for as far as Bob Apodaca is concerned. Back-to-back walks to Tony Perez and Dave Concepcion following Bench's home run has brought about the New York change in pitchers as Koosman goes 7 2/3 innings, gives the Reds 7 hits, walks 5 batters, 1 intentionally, struck out 3, and now we'll hope that Apodaca can do a job for him. Foster has been walked intentionally, has bounced into a double play and lined to center field. Apodaca has finished his warm-ups, and he's ready to go to work. Hank Webb goes right back to the New York Mets bullpen to pick up where Apodaca left off, and Tom Hall continues to throw. Here's a pitch to Foster. Swung on a ground ball to second. Leon throws on to second base to get the 4th play of Concepcion and retire the side. So Apodaca delivers only 1 pitch to get the Mets out of the 8th inning jam. The Reds come up with a run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on, and through 8 complete. The Mets 5, the Reds 2. Well, I'll tell you, here's a guy that is flat hitting the baseball. Vic Carell of the Atlanta Braves, his 8th home run of the season, a grand slam tonight. That's 4 home runs in the last 5 games for him. The pitch is in, a call strike to Millan. That home run coming with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th inning. to give the Atlanta Braves a 9-4 lead over Montreal. Line foul into the seats right side. 0-2 the count. Eastwick, the 2-strike pitch, and misses outside with it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Millan with Rusty Staub on deck. He hit him on the fist with that pitch. He grounds to shortstop, and Concepcion throws Millan out. 1 down. It'll bring up Rusty Staub, who has been a definite factor for the Mets. He doubled across a pair, their first 2 runs in the 5th inning, after getting an earlier single, officially 2 for 3, and has also walked once. So Staub has been on 3 times. Check swing, foul ball. Oh, no, he did not get it. It gets by Johnny Bench, ball 1. Ground ball directly at Morgan, down to his right knee to field it. Throw to first, 2 out. Raleigh Eastwick, 1 2/3 innings, has pitched perfect relief ball, retiring 5 batters in a row. And now timeout is called as the first base umpire, Bruce Froemming, is coming over talking to Yogi Berra. Berra appears to be upset about something, and maybe something Millan said to Froemming at first base, and now Yogi throws both hands up in the air, and it seems to be getting steamed up by the second. Millan talking from the New York dugout as Froemming starts back toward first base, and now Yogi turns and goes nose to nose with him. Standing just along the third base foul line, now Froemming going on back to first base. He wants to resume play, and Yogi Berra will not let him, and Yogi getting upset, more upset as the argument continues. Well, Millan apparently said something as he crossed first base. Froemming came over to carry it a little bit further, and Yogi bounced out of the Mets dugout, and now he got a good one going. Plate umpire Ed Bargo goes out to the mound to say something with Raleigh Eastwick, and Yogi's still arguing the New York Mets case, and Froemming, I guarantee you, is not too far away from running Yogi Berra here in the 9th inning. Bargo now steps in and said, look, why don't you go on back to the dugout? Yogi talking to Bargo. So Ed Bargo accomplishes one thing, and that's getting Yogi off the first base umpire's back. Yogi's going to stand around and talk about it a little while. Puts his hands on his hips, spreads his feet apart, and he's again arguing with Bargo while pointing down toward first base. That's the end of that argument. And the fans behind the third base dugout kind of like it. They applaud Yogi as he re-enters the Mets dugout. 2 away here in the top of the 9th, with New York leading 5-2. Joe Torre, the hitter, 3 for 4, including a 2-run homer and a run-scoring double. First homer of the year came in the 5th inning, an opposite field shot off of Don Gullick. There's Millan still jawing as he walks a few steps down the stairwell. Well, now we get the official word that Felix Millan has been ejected from this game. Okay? To Joe Torre, a fastball below the knee. Torre takes a strike. It's 1-1. Looking ahead of the Cincinnati 9th inning, Geronimo first up, then a pinch hitter for Eastwick and Pete Rose. Foul ball off the bat of Torre and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eastwick onto the way of the plate, a foul ball again into the seats. Ball bounding around, and finally a lucky fan coming up with it. One and 2 pitch. Swamani tomahawked a high pitch down into the New York Met bullpen. So Eastwick continues to throw strikes, and Torrey continues to foul him. The pitch. Smashed by Perez down the right field line. Joe Torrey on with his fourth hit of the night as it bounds away from Griffey. Kenley finally runs it down, and Torrey is on at second base with his second double and his fourth hit. That's the first hit off Raleigh Eastwick and keeps the ninth going for New York for center fielder Del Unser. Unser came on in a defensive change for the Mets in the bottom of the seventh inning, going to center with Clines moving to left and Kingman out of the game. Pitch taken low and inside, ball one. Unser batting .324. Torrey at second base. Eastwick checking Torrey, delivers. Unser chased this pitch, or was way out in front on it, and fouls. The ball, 2 strikes. Hit for Joe Torrey, the 12th New York hit of the game. The Reds have had 7. And we trail by 3. John Milner loosening up for New York. He may come on to play first base in the bottom of the ninth. Just off the plate, 2-2. Eastwick the long look in. 2-2 pitch. Foul ball out of here. Off the facing, actually into the red seats. High above home plate. Eastwick, our fourth pitcher. Gellert went 5. He stands to take the loss. Kirby an inning plus. Clay Carroll an inning, and Raleigh Eastwick will finish it up. 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball that'll be out of play to the left side, and that again into the red seats and falling back into the green. So quite a duel unfolding between Raleigh Eastwick and Del Unser. Here's a 2-2 again, and he dealt him an off-speed pitch that Unser fouls to the screen. Right-hander to the belt, 2-2 pitch on the way, and he missed with it inside a full count. Well, if Unser gets on, it'll bring up Wayne Garrett. The 3-2 pitch, a foul ball. A couple of finals in the American League. Boston over Oakland, 7-0. New York over Kansas City, 4-0. That's in the 7th. We'll have all the particulars on all the games on Scores and Comments following the Star of the Game show. Ball 4 is high. So Del Unser, fouling off enough pitches to stay alive, finally forces a walk, and we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. You'll get some great gift ideas for graduation and Father's Day when you stop by the Cincinnati Reds 580 Gift Shop and Newsstand, corner of 6th and Walnut in downtown Cincinnati.
Wayne Garrett at the plate with 2 men on and 2 men out. He hits a smash by Joe Morgan to right field, a hit. Here's Ken Griffey. His throw to the plate. Here's Torrey, and he is in sliding safely as Betts missed with a swipe tag after having to go up the line a couple of feet to grab Griffey's throw to the plate. So the Mets go back out in front by 4. It's 6-2, and all their offensive activity in the 9th inning has come after 2 men have been retired. Double by Torrey, a walk to Unser, and Garrett first pitch hitting, singles to right field, with Torrey in to score the run and Unser going to third. The inning continues on for catcher Jerry Grody, 0 for 4. The only pitcher who has been unscathed for Cincinnati has been Clay Carroll. Looks like Eastwick would be finishing up a fine 2 innings of work. Here's a bouncing ball to shortstop. Concepcion to Morgan. That's all for the Mets here in the ninth inning. But they get a run. On 2 hits, they leave 2 men on base. And as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, it is New York 6, the Reds 2.
There's a feeling around, it's America's sound. Pepsi people are feeling free. Free to choose a new way, free to stand up and say, you be you and I'll be me. When you catch that thirst for living, then you'll need what Pepsi's giving. A Pepsi lift, a Pepsi gift, for feeling free. Join the Pepsi people.
Limited number of Freedom Train tickets available at all Shillitoe stores.
As we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, Yogi Berra has taken one player out and shuffled some around. John Milner is in to play first base with Joe Torre moving from first to third and Wayne Garrett going from third to second. The yacht is a player who has been lifted. Cesar Geronimo, Danny Dreesen, and Pete Rose is how we're scheduled to bat, but with Dreesen on deck to hit for pitcher Raleigh Eastwick. 6-2 the score as the Mets again enjoy a 4-run lead. And the last call for our Cincinnati Reds, Geronimo 1 for 3, a 7th-inning single. To face Bob Apodaca, the right-hander, and here's the pitch on the way to the plate. Taken outside, ball 1. Apodaca threw one pitch in the 8th, got Fawcett hit into a force play to end the inning. Here's a foul ball down the left field line and curving well into the seats. One ball and 1 strike on Geronimo. Torre, a shallow third base. 1-1 delivery. Swung on, fly ball center, driving Unser back. He waits and makes the catch. So that's 1 down. Here's Danny Dreesen. He'll bat for Raleigh Eastwick. Eastwick going 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, a run, a strikeout, a walk. Dreesen batting .227. As a pinch hitter, has been up 7 times and has 1 hit. Pitch on the way. That's ball 1 inside. Tommy Hall still throwing for New York. Ground ball right side. There's Garrett. He has it. Throw to first. 2 out. So the Reds down to their final out as Pete Rose will try to keep it going. He's had 2 of our 7 hits and 4 times up. Apodaca throws. Rose takes the ball as he shortens up on the bat, drawing Joe Torre in quickly from third base. Here's a 1-0. Swung on and fouled off the handle and straight back. And over the screen, a ball and 1 strike. Apodaca checking in with Grody. Throws. He takes strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hey, a win here would put the Mets over the 500 mark at 16-15 and put the Reds even at 20-20. Check swing foul by Pete. Keeps the count of the ball 2 strikes. Apodaca shakes off the sign. Now delivers. Throws at another foul ball. Third base side. 2 men out, nobody on. Ken Griffey on deck. Apodaca. Right-hander from Los Angeles. Pitching. Pete, a foul ball again. Rose batting .309, trying to keep it going with his third hit of the game. There's a pitch down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harry Parker runs down to the New York bullpen. Where Tom Hall still works. Two-two pitch. Check swing on a pitch inside. Apodaca coming with a good fastball, but could not get it over. So a 3-2 count to the Cincinnati third baseman and captain, and here comes a payoff pitch. He walked him. Rose keeps the ninth inning alive by getting a walk after being behind to Bob Apodaca. And it will allow Ken Griffey to bat. Griff is 0 for 4. First man to reach on the New York relief pitcher. Griffey, the 4th consecutive left-handed hitter facing Apodaca in the ninth. Too low, ball 1. Milner not paying any attention to Rose at first. Griffey fouls it away. But with a 4-run lead, they're not real concerned about the whereabouts of Pete Rose at first base. Griffey, a ball, a strike, 2 out. Griffey making Apodaca wait. Kenny back in the box. Apodaca stretches and delivers. That's ball 2. 2-1, and Jerry Grody calls time. Is going to run out to the mound. 2 balls and 1 strike on Griffey. He retired Geronimo and Dreesen with relative ease, getting the Chief on a fly ball to center and getting Dreesen to bounce out to Garrett at second base, but then lost Rose with a 3-2 pitch, and there's 2 balls and a strike on Griffey. Morgan is on deck. 6-2, the New York Mets in the bottom of the ninth in the first of this 2-game series with a wrap-up tomorrow night at 8:05 with Billingham going against Seaver. 2-1 on the way. That ball 3 high and outside. Well, you have to wonder if Apodaca should lose Griffey, would Yogi bring Tom Hall on to work to Joe Morgan? Might be putting the cart before the horse. Let's get Griffey on first and worry about that afterwards. Well, he's on. There's ball 4, low and inside. Back-to-back 2-out walks. Served up to Pete Rose, and Ken Griffey will bring to the plate Joe Morgan, and Yogi Berra is to the mound. Along with Torrey and Harrelson, Jerry Grody coming out. From the looks of things, it would appear that Yogi is going to leave Apodaca in there to work to Morgan. Joe is without a hit, has walked 1 time, hit a ball very well in the 5th inning with 2 men on base all the way to the fence in right field where Staub brought it down. Morgan playing with 14 stitches in his right shin, although had to sit out Sunday's game in Montreal after Gary Carter ran him down on the baseline when Joe tried to tag him and turn a game-ending double play in the bottom of the 10th. But back in there tonight after the off day yesterday, and here he is now against Apodaca. Shortens up to bunt, takes a strike. Rose at second base, Griffey at first, 2 out. The 0-1 delivery, swung on and chopped foul at home plate, and it's quickly 0-2. Ed Vargo rubbing up the new baseball. Jerry Grody sends it on back to the mound. Oh, 2 pitch to the plate. Another foul. Morgan jumped out after a pitch a bit up, fouled it off to stay alive and keep it at 2 strikes. Johnny Bench, who had a 8th-inning home run, hoping to get a chance in the ninth. Apodaca comes set, steps off the pitching rubber as Rose returns to second. Shaking off the sign, the right-hander. Nods his head, and now Morgan steps away. Well, Joe figuring if Apodaca can do it, so can I. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line shot. Milner has it, and that's the game. Well, a fine defensive play by John Milner, who leads straight up in the air to pick off what no doubt would have been an extra base hit for Morgan. And thereby ending it here at Riverfront Stadium with a final score. The New York Mets 6, the Cincinnati Reds 2, and we'll be back in just a moment.
The folks at the Stroh Brewery want to remind you that it's Stroh a party time, and they also want to give you a free recipe on how to Stroh a party. So, here goes. First, get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different, and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good, cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
New York Mets win the first of this two-game series at Riverfront Stadium, 6-2, the final score, thereby dropping the Reds back to 500 baseball through the first 40 games of the year, 20 wins and 20 losses. While for the Mets, it's over the hump, so to speak. They're one game over the 500 mark now at 16 wins and 15 defeats. The totals in the game for New York, 6 runs, 13 hits, no errors with 10 men left on. The Reds had 2 runs, 7 hits, an error. They also stranded 10. Jerry Koosman, his 4th victory of the year against only 1 loss and going the 7 2/3 innings in the game with Bob Apodaca coming on to finish up and pick up his 3rd save of the year. And Don Gullett, the losing pitcher for Cincinnati, Don's 2nd consecutive loss, and his record now is 4 wins and 3 losses on the season. New York winning it for all intents and purposes with a big 4-run 5th inning, a 2-run double by Rusty Staub. That followed by a 2-run homer by Joe Torre. New York getting single runs in the 7th and 9th. The Reds getting a run in the 6th inning. And a Johnny Bench 7th home run of the year in the 8th inning. And leading 2 men on base in the 9th. And again, the final 6-2 New York. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. Tomorrow night, the final game in the series, Jack Billingham to the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. Jack will be after his 4th victory of the season. And Tom Seaver, who has been pitching dynamite baseball for the New York Mets, will be Yogi Berra's choice in a game that will get underway at 8:05. And if you can't make it out, and we certainly hope you can, we'll be on the air on most of these same stations with a broadcast of the pregame shows beginning at 7:35. As for now, stay tuned on most of these stations for Joe Nuxall with the Star of the Game show. And again, the final score tonight, the Mets 6, the Reds 2.
You've just heard the Reds on radio with Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall. Reds baseball has been brought to you by Stroh's Beer, brewed with pride for 200 years, from one beer lover to another. And by the Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people. By Frisch's, come see the good people at Frisch's. They really have so much more. By the First National Bank of Cincinnati, a good place to put your money and your confidence. By the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Cincinnati, bottlers of Pepsi-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Schweppes products. And by Riverside Ford in Newport, a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. Follow the 1975 Cincinnati Reds and tune in next time for more Reds on Radio on this, the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.